All right, good job, you guys. All right, there are like 30 minutes left in class, so I'm going to give you guys an option. Would you like to go over the DOL together, or would you like to do it on your own? If we do it together, we're going to go by it question by question as a class, reading, annotating, eliminating. So let me know what your vote is, together or on your own. Tanisha votes for together. PK agrees. All right. So let's look at this first question. Yes, you may turn that in. These quotations provide evidence that both the speaker in To a Daughter with Artistic Talent and the narrator in the excerpt from Big Fish feel. So here's the first one. This is from the poem. And you never know why. I was lying before when I said I knew. And here's the one from Big Fish. I don't know what makes a man great. I've never thought about it before. So we're going to find a similarity, right? We're going to be looking for how they both feel. So remind me, who's the speaker in the poem? The father, yeah, the dad. Who's the narrator in Big Fish? The son. All right, so the father, we're going to compare and see how they're similar. The father in the poem and the son in Big Fish. Oh, we're doing the DOL, but we're doing the annotations, and it's at the To a Daughter with Artistic Talent. So if you scroll down on the poem, it's down there. So we're going to go through it together, and then you guys can enter your answers in the DOL. So yes, I'm sorry, I wasn't clear on where this was, so thank you for pointing that out. So yeah, this is after the poem. We're going to go through it together, and then you guys can put your answers in the DOL. Okay, so do they both feel as though they must prove something? Do they both feel embarrassed by their ignorance? Do they both feel compelled? Compelled means forced to admit their mistakes? Or do they both feel challenged to say something difficult or to explain something difficult? All right, so we've annotated the questions, we've annotated the answers. What's next? Yeah, let's eliminate two. Which ones can we cross out? You said which ones? C and B? Okay, so why did you say B? Yeah, okay, I think that's an important part because this is where these questions get tricky. So they're both saying they don't know something, right? I don't know why. And I was lying before when I said that I knew. And then in Big Fish, he says, I don't know what makes a man great. I've never thought about it before. Both of those kind of show ignorance, right? Ignorance is just not knowing something. But are they embarrassed about it? And Daniel points out, no, they are not embarrassed. So he's right to cross out B. Logan says A. We're going to cross out A. Why is that? They have to prove something. Yeah, there's nothing to prove here. He's not trying to prove that he's a great man. He's not trying to prove why people are compelled to paint green birds and yellow houses and silver trees. So let's look at our two options that are left. Compelled to admit mistakes or challenged to explain something difficult. So are they admitting mistakes here? not really mistakes, right? They're kind of admitting shortcomings. Like, you know, you don't know why. I don't know why. I was lying before when I said that I knew. And I don't know what makes a man great. That's probably something that maybe we should know, what makes a person great. But they're not really feeling forced to admit it, right? So then let's look at the answer D. Challenged to explain something difficult. So a challenge is something that's like difficult to overcome, something that's not easy to do. So are they trying to explain something difficult? They're both trying to get the right words to express how they feel, right? He says that you never know why. I was lying when I said that I knew. He's trying to explain to his daughter why people paint the way that they do. And then in Big Fish, if we look at the text, we know he thinks about it for a long time. So he's taking a lot of consideration to his dad's question. This is in paragraph 23. He says, I don't know what makes a man great. I've never thought about it before, but at a time like this, I don't know just won't do. This is an occasion one rises to, and so I make myself as light as possible and wait for a lift. So it is something difficult, something important. So which of these is the right answer? D. Challenged to explain something difficult is the correct answer for the first question. Does anybody have questions about this? Do you guys see how that's the best answer?
How can I mark it out like you did?
Oh, okay. So what you can do is select the word that you want to cross out. It's not easy, unfortunately. Go to text, formatting, and go to strike through. The shortcut is Alt-Shift-5. I think it's just easier to do this. So format, text, strike through. If that's too much, what you can do is just highlight it in red. And that's like, lets us know that that's not the answer that you want. All right, let's look at the next question. What is a difference in how the two selections portray fathers? So we're looking at a difference between the fathers in the story. So what did you guys write over here under differences? All right, one dad left for milk. Let's see if that's an option in our answers. Do you think the STAAR test writers are going to say that? Maybe not. We'd be surprised if they did. One dad's dealing with the conflict and the other one isn't. Okay, so we know that one dad was there, one dad wasn't. So let's see what our options are. The father in the poem is optimistic, and the father in Big Fish is cynical. Cynical is somebody who sees the downside of everything. So an optimist sees the good side. A cynic is going to see the bad, the trouble, the storm clouds. A cynic sees the negative side. The father in the poem seems caring. The father in Big Fish seems self-centered. The father in the poem is open-minded. The father in Big Fish is judgmental. The father in the poem is defensive. The father in Big Fish is relaxed. All right, so we understand the question. We've annotated. What's next? Eliminate, right? So which two should we eliminate? D? D is in dog, defensive and relaxed. Yeah. All right, what's another one that we should eliminate? Logan agrees with you, optimistic and cynical. All right, that leaves us with the father in the poem is caring, and the father in Big Fish is self-centered, and the father in the poem is open-minded, and the father in Big Fish is judgmental. So which do we feel is the better answer? What do you guys at home think? What's the best answer? Wake up, you guys. What's the best answer on this one? Thanks, Tanisha. She's right. It's B. Why is it B?
I would say because, like, you know, the dad in the novel is trying to like make himself seem like he's not, but like not like his father,
Mhm.
and the dad in the poem seems like he just cares a lot about his daughter, and he doesn't want her like to end up changing too much about her.
Fantastic. That's great. So I hope you guys heard what she said because it was brilliant. Just going to paraphrase that the father in the poem is just caring about his daughter and appreciating how wonderful she is and how she sees the world. And then Tanisha noted something that I hadn't really considered, but you're absolutely right, is that the father in the Big Fish was trying to explain like he's not like his dad. You know, his dad left and didn't come back, when in reality, he really is kind of the same as his dad. He was trying to make himself different from that, but he's really the same. And then when he went out to go be a great man, he really wasn't thinking about anybody else but himself. He was just thinking about what he wanted. So you're exactly right. The best answer here is B. All right, let's keep going. Both the daughter's paintings in the poem and the father's stories in Big Fish. All right, so we're going to tell what is similar about these. So similar about the paintings and then the dad's stories. So do both the painting and the stories depict a world that's more fanciful than realistic, so more fantastic than reality? Do they both contain imagery from well-known fairy tales? Are they both difficult for others to understand? Or do they both portray heroic characters? So which two can we eliminate? B and D. So B, we know that the dad's stories contain imagery from the fairy tales, but do the paintings? No. So they both have to have it. And then neither one really has heroic characters, unless you count the dad from Big Fish as his own hero in his own story. But the daughter's paintings don't really have heroic characters, right? So that leaves depict a world that seems more fanciful than realistic, or C, are difficult for others to understand. Which one is the best answer?
B.
Well, it's between A and C.
C.
C, they're both difficult for others to understand. Why do you say that?
Because some people do stuff that most people don't understand.
Okay, I see what you're saying, and you're not wrong. But we're not comparing the situations in the stories. We're comparing the paintings and the stories. So just because that's okay, so you're not wrong, but you're not answering the question. So if they were talking about like the themes of the stories, you would be spot on. But yeah, so it is A. They both depict worlds that are more fanciful than realistic. So the daughter's paintings, remember, all the colors are kind of different from what they should be, right? They're children's colors, which is more fantasy than reality. And then the father's stories have like ogres and two-headed ladies and the earth is splitting open, and that's not really reality, right? They're not really difficult for other people to understand though, because if you think about a child's painting, even though the colors are different, you pretty much know, okay, this is a house, and the little V is a bird, or like the circle with legs, that's the bird, and then the trees are the sticky uppy parts. Like, we can get it. And the father's stories also, they weren't really hard to get. Like, you guys knew that he was talking about Jack and the Beanstalk when he talked about his father going and getting the seeds. So they're not really difficult to understand, but they do both show worlds that aren't really reality. They're not really the way things actually are. And then Logan also noticed that it's more descriptive of an answer, and it answers the question a little bit better. So that's kind of like getting deep into test taking strategy, about how you can determine if one answer is better than the other. It's a little bit more of a descriptive thing. You can't really rely on that all the time, because sometimes they'll steer you in the wrong direction. They do that on purpose. Because I heard one thing, I know I'm getting off topic a little bit, but I heard one thing about like test taking strategy, and somebody said always pick the longest answer because it's going to have like the most description in it. And I think test writers get wise to that now. And so anyway, but that's an excellent point, Logan. All right, so the correct answer here is A. The paintings and the stories both show a world that's more fantasy than reality. All right, let's keep going. We're gonna finish all of these, and you guys are all gonna get a 100 on this. All right, I'm not gonna help you with this one. You're just gonna tell me what to do. Both quotations use imagery that conveys a sense of, I will highlight for you, but you guys are going to tell me what's next. We're looking at imagery in these sections. Y'all are going to tell me what to do. No, TK, it did start raining. I didn't bring an umbrella, so I guess I'll just have to go out with my blanket over my head. I'll be like an old Russian grandma. All right, what do we do next, y'all? Yeah, read the question. Read the passages. Oh, you want me to read them? Okay. All right, I guess since you asked. To a daughter with artistic talent, you have painted every day for as long as I can remember, and will be painting still when you read this some cold and distant December, when the child is old and the trees no longer silver, but black fingers scratching a gray sky. Here's the one from Big Fish. No, he says. Then, yes, I don't know. At least you remembered. The point is, I think, the point is that I tried to get home more. I did. Things happened, though. Natural disasters. The earth split once, I think. The sky opened several times. Sometimes I barely made it out alive. All right, I see Logan in the chat says D can definitely be eliminated. Do they sound guilty? Nope. Oh, wait, she said D and I did C. Sorry. Do they sound like they have exaggerated self-confidence? Nope. What's next? Eliminate C. Yeah, I kind of let that one slip. I said I wasn't going to help you, but I messed up. All right, Logan says B also. Why B? Yeah, no sign. They're not being like obstinate, right? They're not saying you're going to do it my way or the highway. That leaves one left, inner turmoil. Somebody tell me what inner turmoil is. What does it mean to have inner turmoil? Struggles within yourself. Very succinctly and eloquently said. Struggles within yourself. That is inner turmoil. All right, good job, you guys. Last one. Which sentence states a difference between the attitude of the speaker in the poem and the attitude of the narrator in the story? So remind me who the speaker in the poem is? The father. Who's the narrator in the story? The son. Okay, so what's the difference between the father in the poem and the son in the story? The speaker in the poem worries that his daughter gets carried away by her imagination. Carried away. While the narrator in the story admires the way his father uses the imagination. Logan's already zeroed in on this. She says, this part is all wrong. We know that in Big Fish, that son does not admire his dad or his stories. He is so over it. So Logan's like, we don't even need to wait to knock that one off the list. All right. The speaker in the poem believes that his daughter paints to express her true feelings. Oh, yeah, Tyson's like, that sounds like that's true. Yep. The narrator in the story believes that his father tells stories to escape reality. I don't know. That sounds like that could be a possibility. Right. Yeah, because he's like making them bigger than they were. He's like, I had dinner with the prime minister and I've been on all 7 continents. Even though he couldn't remember how many continents there were, he was like, I've been all of them. Okay, so we're going to keep this one in our memory banks. All right, the speaker in the poem thinks his daughter paints to bring them closer together, while the narrator in the story thinks his father tells stories to distance himself from others.
At first it sounded good, then one time I'm trying to distance myself from others.
Yeah. Yeah. Bring them closer. Like, is that the reason why the daughter paints? So that she can have a good relationship with her dad? Yeah. Yeah, she does it because she likes it. It makes her happy. Exactly. Express how she's feeling. She's not doing it for her relationship with her. She sounds like a kid. Like, kids don't think that way, right? The speaker in the poem believes that painting is good for his daughter's health, while the narrator in the story worries that his father's stories are a symptom of illness. Yeah, and if you remember, I mean, we didn't really talk about this part too much about Big Fish, but he did say like his dad's mind wanders sometimes and he doesn't always make sense. So the second part kind of sounds like it, but in the first part where they're talking about the daughter, he's not saying, oh, she should paint because it's healthy for her, or it's good for her development or whatever. So, all right, you guys are getting so fast, so skilled at knocking those bad answers off. So we know that B is the correct answer. The speaker in the poem believes that his daughter paints to express her true feelings, while the narrator in the story believes that his father tells stories to escape reality. All right, so if you've been following along, you have all the right answers. Yes, sir. And then put those answers into the DOL. So the DOL of comparing texts. You guys should all get a 100. Yes, B is correct. So the first one is D, second one B, third A, fourth A, fifth B. You guys did super fantastic today. I'm proud of the work that you did. Woo! Tennis, district champs. Do y'all know Rogelio Coronado? He's one of my students. He's on the tennis team. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm proud of you guys. You guys did a really, 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 really good job today. You did a lot of really good work, really good analysis. You aced it with that comparative analysis. You can go home and tell your parents, hey, I did comparative analysis in English class today, and it sounds like really, really smart and really complicated. They'll be like, son, what did you do in school today? And you said, oh, I just did some comparative analysis. And they'll be like, wow. But then in reality, we just talked about like birds. Tanisha's like, she's gonna look at me like, okay. But seriously though, you guys did really, really good work. So the STAAR test is next week. We are taking it next Thursday, so that's 1 week from today. I don't have the room list yet, but as soon as I have it, I will post it. Monday, when we come back, we are going to look at how the test is going to work. So you're going to see like sample screens. We're going to learn all the tools that you have so you can annotate, and then how the test is going to work so you know what the procedures are and all of that stuff. So you guys, are you feeling prepared? Are you feeling good? Kind of. You should be feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. I like hearing that. English should be easy for you guys. If you guys do the STAAR test like you did this today, then you have nothing to worry about. All right, so you guys at home, we got 3 minutes left. Oh, yeah, that is the bad thing. Like, we're not allowed to have any kind of background noise, because I think sometimes ambient music would help. But yeah, it is silent in those rooms. Yeah, no, you're right. It kind of like makes you, it makes you sleepy. I agree.
Yeah.
And it's cold. That's true. So when you come back, you guys, if you guys haven't been on campus, it gets cold in here. So bring like a jacket or a hoodie or something. Yeah, that's why I have this blanket, because it gets cold.
That shows how many people's breath is hot.
Yeah. All right, guys. So you guys at home, you can log off if you are ready. If you don't have any questions or anything, I'll see you guys on Monday. Y'all have a good weekend. Bye, Logan. Yes, tomorrow is a B day. So you'll do 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th periods. Bye, Karen.